Ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten gameplay animations for Zhezhi and Xiangli Yao. This is a video about Zhezhi and how her kit and animations look in tandem. So like when you're watching this video of her doing her attacks, doing whatever, you may be like, okay, well, what is that in her kit? What are we seeing here? What's actually going on? I'm going to explain that to you all and also talk about her kit. I'll make a separate one of these for Xiangli Yao in the future, so it'll be a different video than this one. This one's just for Zhezhi. But with all that out of the way, let's get into Zhezhi's kit, because she's looking mad cute. So I'm on this website called wutheringlab.com. I will include a link to it if you want to check it out. They do normally post the kits as soon as we get leaks, unlike some websites that tend to wait until official releases. I will say though, as always with all characters, until Kuro confirms it, their kits are subject to change and anything is possible. With that out of the way though, let's get into Zhezhi and her kit. So we have here Dimming Brush. This is just basic attack. She has a 3 consecutive strike basic attack. You can also do a heavy attack, mid-air attack, and a dodge counter attack, as all characters can do. To see the basic attack in action here, we'll play the clip here once she's done running there. Boom. This is what the basic attack looks like. Pretty cool. I love the brush strokes kind of attack. I feel like that's super creative and just like a great visual for a character who's clearly all about painting. And so that's basically what her combos look like in the air. That little spiral at the end, though, so when I play back this clip here, when we jump into the air, boom, 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 that spinning spiral she does is her resonance skill. And I've been watching these a lot and trying to compare them to her kit to understand what's going on, since I don't actually get to do the gameplay. I'm not one of those people who's leaking the gameplay, sadly. So if there's anything I say that, like, you know, you've used her or something and you're like, oh, you're wrong about that, feel free to let me know. But that spiral there is her resonance skill when you don't have Aplus higher than 60. That's just a normal resonance skill when you don't have Aplus. I'll explain what Aplus is in a second. But basically, when you have Aplus, the resonance skill is going to look a little different, and let me show you why. And the difference when you have Aplus is here. This is a video of her resonance skill. It's labeled so. You can see we have the same spin and spiral, but now we've spawned a little crane picture here in the upper left. And that brings us back to Aplus. So, what is it? Well, here in her resonance skill, you can see if Aplus is higher than 60, additionally consume 60 Aplus to summon Spiritual Sketch left and Spiritual Sketch right on the ground. That is when you just do your normal resonance skill on the ground. You just press the button. If you hold your resonance skill button like you would a heavy attack, Aplus is higher than 60 as well. You'll consume 60 Aplus and summon the Spiritual Sketch left and the Spiritual Sketch right in the air. And then if you do your resonance skill in the air and you just press it, it'll consume that 60 Aplus and summon the Spiritual Sketch left and right in the air. And this is what it looks like in the air. I actually haven't seen a video of it on the ground, so I am curious to see what that looks like. I would imagine the symbol would just literally appear on the ground though. But this is what it looks like in the air. That is the sketch left. I'm unsure why there's no sketch right here. Maybe they were just able to get one sketch, because it does say in her kit, summon sketch left and right, not or right. So you should be spawning both of them when you have over 60 Aplus, which if you're wondering, how do I get Aplus? It's down here on the bottom of her Forte circuit. You can hold up to 90 of it, and you get it through normal attacks and her intro skill. That's how you obtain Aplus. You want to be using her to get Aplus. And you can hold to 90, which 60 of it is used here to get the sketches left and right. But what happens when you get these sketches? Well, once you have the sketches on the battlefield and you do a resonance skill, you will blink to it or teleport to it. It's called blinking in the kit, so that's what I'm calling it. But you blink to it and attack the area. And we see this in her Forte circuit as well. Her Forte circuit is beefy in terms of words, but kind of similar to how Jinhsi has a lot of words. It's not too crazy what's going on in it. And we see that here, resonance skill, stroke of genius. So just like Jinhsi, Zhezhi's resonance skill changes depending on things you do in battle. In this case, when you have sketches left and right, and you use your resonance skill, stroke of genius, it replaces the original resonance skill with the new one, stroke of genius. And you blink to the location of the spiritual sketch, remove it, summon a crane, spirit to attack the target, dealing glacio damage. It'll be considered as basic attack damage. And you will gain 1 stack of Painter's Delight, lasting for 8 seconds, and you can stack that up to 2 times. I will explain what Painter's Delight here is in a second. But that is the difference between the original Resonance Skill and Resonance Skill Stroke of Genius. So just to watch that back one more time for you all, that's Resonance Skill Stroke of Genius when you blink to the sketch after doing your original Resonance Skill to get the sketches. Now at the end there, I did mention gaining a stack of Painter's Delight. Well, where does that come into play? Well, when you have 2 stacks of Painter's Delight, so after you've done Stroke of Genius twice, you will then be able to use the Resonance Skill Stroke of Maestro, which is effectively the same thing. You teleport, so when we see spiritual sketches nearby and there are 2 stacks of Painter's Delight, the Resonance Skill is replaced with Stroke of Maestro. When it is cast, Zhezhi will blink to the location of the spiritual sketch and remove it, then summon a Crane Spirit to attack the target, dealing greater Glacio damage, considered as basic attack damage, and additionally increasing the basic attack damage multiplier by 18% for 22 seconds. So it's effectively the same thing as Stroke of Genius, however now you're gaining this additional bonus attack multiplier for 22 seconds. So when you do more attacks with Zhezhi after doing this, she has a stronger basic attack than she did pre-doing this. That's like the big difference between Stroke of Genius and Stroke of Maestro. Now, before we watch this next animation, I have something else to explain. The last part of her Forte circuit here, heavy attack composition. So, I've explained how to get your spiritual sketch left and right, but how do you get middle? Because there's a middle. When performing the 3 moves below, if Afflatus is higher than 30%, consume stamina and 30 Afflatus to attack the target, dealing Glacio damage, and summon spiritual sketch middle. So, if you remember up here, it takes 60 Afflatus in order to get the left and right, and now it's taking 30 to get middle. That is why you can hold up to 90 stacks. When you have the max amount of Afflatus at 90, you're able to get all 3 sketches of left, right, and middle. To get the middle, though, you just do a heavy attack, basically. So if you hold the basic attack button after you do your basic attack stage 3, so at the end of your basic attack combo, and do a heavy attack, you can get the middle. If you press the basic attack button shortly after casting your Resonance Skill, you can get the middle, as long as you have also over 30 Afflatus. And then if you hold the basic attack button while in midair, so do a heavy attack while in midair, you also get the middle sketch. When you have all 3 sketches available, you can see we got the left and right there from doing the Resonance Skill. And now we do our attack in the air. We get our 3 cranes, we do our Resonance Skill, and we teleport to all 3 locations for a big bang, bang, bang attack. And that is her Resonance Skill, like all forms of her Resonance Skill, and her Forte circuit in action. For her Resonance Liberation, I believe that this is her Resonance Liberation here. Does that. You can see everything turns like black and white, which I think is really cool. It's like she's painting the color to the world. Boom, everything turns black and white, and then color reappears. I think that's a pretty cool animation for a painting character. Maybe that's just me. As for what is actually going on when you do that animation, we have the Inklet Spirit. You'll summon the Inklet Spirit for assistance. And what is the Inklet Spirit? When the active resonator on the team deals damage, Inklet Spirit will be summoned to perform a coordinated attack, dealing Glacio damage considered as basic attack damage. Each time damage is dealt, 3 Inklet Spirits will be summoned. Up to 21 spirits can be summoned. Up to 1 spirit can be summoned every second. The effect lasts for 30 seconds or until the max Inklet Spirits are summoned. Now, I haven't seen anything that I believe is the Inklet Spirits in action, because there's this thing here, but I believe that's her actual weapon, not her Inklet Spirit, because when you look at other clips, you can see it appears, like there it is, that looks different, but then watch. When she's done attacking here and rests for a moment, that will change into what we saw just a moment ago after her Resonance Liberation here. Yeah, there it is. So I don't believe that's an Inklet Spirit. I could be wrong on that one, but I haven't seen anything else that would depict the Inklet Spirits, unfortunately. If you have a clip or can let me know, please do. Would love to see it. But I believe that is just her actual weapon, not the spirits. And that does it for all the animations that I've seen. For the remaining parts of her kit, which is not a lot, we have her passive skills. When casting your Resonance Skill, Stroke of Genius, or Stroke of Maestro, your attack is increased by 6% for 22 seconds. This can be stacked up to 3 times, so that's 18% at max. And then we have our Ornament skill. After outro skills activated, restore 15 resonance energy to the incoming resonator. And then we have her switch skills, which are her intro and her outro. Her intro is attack the target dealing Glacio damage, and her outro gives the incoming resonator resonance skill damage amplification by 44% for 1 second or until they are switched out. So I'm not entirely sure about the whole 1 second thing, but basically this is why people have been saying she is a good unit to run with jinhsi, as she increases resonance skill damage and jinhsi nukes with her resonance skill. So that's why people have been saying they're good to run together. Her stat bonuses are crit rate and attack. And then for her resonance chain here, it seems to be following the same trend we've had thus far with the rest of the wuwa characters, and that getting more sequences doesn't necessarily bring out some crazy part of their kit that's been locked away before. It just helps you do more damage. Like sequence 1 here increases the max amount of inklet spirits you can summon by 6, so you can deal more damage. For sequence 2 here, when casting resonance skill, Stroke of Maestro, you will restore 15 resonance energy and increase crit rate by 10% to help you deal some more damage. When casting your resonance skill for sequence 3, Depiction, Forte Circuit, Stroke of Genius, or Forte Circuit, Stroke of Maestro, your attack increases by 12%, stacking up 3 times, which would be 36% more damage. For sequence 4 here, when casting Resonance Liberation, Spiritful Animation, the attack of resonators on the team increases by 20%, so this helps your team do more damage. For sequence 5, for every 3 Inklet Spirits summoned by Resonance Liberation, Spiritful Animation, 1 extra Inklet Fairy is summoned to perform a coordinated attack, dealing 180% of Inklet Spirits damage, considered as basic attack damage, aka we're doing some more damage. And then finally, sequence 6, when casting Resonance Skill, Stroke of Genius, or Stroke of Maestro, an extra fairy sketch will be summoned to deal 160% of Stroke of Genius's damage, considered as basic attack damage. So again, nothing insane here that like changes the character really, except you do more damage, which of course is never a bad thing. So if you want more damage out of this character, of course go for those sequences. But it's not like, oh, Zhezhi is unusable until you get sequence 3 or something like that. Like how sometimes in Star Rail, a character is not very good, but then you get sequence, you know, or Eidolon, whatever, and it completely changes how they play the game, basically. None of these are like that. It's just, hey, you do more damage now. Your bonk is bonkier. So that is Zhezhi's kit as of now, and her animations and how it all works together. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like. Again, let me know if you're excited for Zhezhi. Do you plan on summoning for Zhezhi, or are you skipping? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. Go check out my Twitch if you want to catch some live streams. Would love to see y'all there. And hope y'all are staying happy and healthy, having the best of days. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.